Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and this is your DAX. No, I lie again. It's your Dow Jones day trade setups for today. It's a little too early in the morning, obviously. So there's a couple of things on the go here. And the first thing is if we just pop down to the weekly, you've got a fairly big engulfing bar here on the weekly. It doesn't really mean much, but we've also got diversions. Okay. So we need to drop below this tail here for that to start playing out. But we are sort of above the moving averages. Moving averages have crossed over. So this is just grinding sideways at the moment. There's nothing really else that we can play into that. If you look to the left, there's a strong area of potential support or resistance here as well. And I mean, you can draw it in there and there. Or let's do that, which is probably the better bet. And there it is there. You can see that's the area that we're selling off. This is the area that we've been buying off in 2021. And then there's one just a little bit lower, which is probably worthwhile keeping in as well. So that's down there. So let's just lock those three positions in. Those are your weekly level. If you just look to the left, look at the chaos that's happening in there. And that's kind of where we're ranging. So the minute you start drilling down through the time frames, you start seeing how relevant those levels are. So we are fairly close to this one here, and that is 33,592. My oscillators are grouped to the downside, and we're starting off on the hour, and this is a fairly decent wedge formation after a fairly strong move to the upside. So that is the structure we can see. V reversals are very rare, and this could be a V reversal if it is going to play out, or you could argue it's a double top because of the diversions there and those two highs, which gave us a warning that it was going to drop. But for now, if we start looking at the 3 hour, you start seeing bullish diversions here. See how that's happening as we're coming near structure. We're starting to get bullish diversions. We've got a crossover of all the moving averages, a very solid downward trend line. But yeah, I'm a little bit cautious because that looks like a wedge to me. So I'm definitely not too excited about chasing shorts, but I'm also not too excited about chasing longs. There's just way too much volatility here. Now, if you can see this on the hour as well, look at the diversions here on the hour. So not so much those two, but between the opening lows here and this pin bar, look at that. So there is a level that we are flirting with. I'm just going to be a little bit higher than that level there. And then you have this one here. So before we get into the trades for the day, don't forget to drop us a thumbs up there and leave us a comment, and even better, share on some social media. Would appreciate that a lot. Now, we have gapped up, granted, and but it's nothing to write home about. But if you just look at price action from Friday, big down, big up, big down, big up, big down, really confused. Still down, still drifting down, so we are in a downward trend. We're going to have to start breaking above this level here to start with before we even start thinking of a move to the upside. And I would expect us still to touch 33,592 at the moment. So if we just get down to the levels that we need to trade, and that's 15 minute, you can see how volatile this was. Really, I mean, late in the session was the only real opportunity. Yeah, it looked like we were getting support here, so you broke above those highs, it would have been long. But again, drop below, up, pin bars, gaps everywhere. I'm a little bit reluctant to be chasing shorts, to be honest, even if it does pop down to close this gap. I'm more interested to see if it's going to break above 33,856 for a potential wedge break and a move to the upside. That's kind of the view that I've got. Now, there was a lot of noise last week with central bankers coming out about interest rate hikes and continuation, but they tend to do that, and they tend to do that to keep the market cautious. So just when you think you've got it all worked out, then they'll come out and drop comments. And It happens every year. Whenever they are influencing price like they are now, that is typically their reaction. So take it with a pinch of salt. Pay attention to these levels. For me, on the Dow, um, again, I'm very reluctant to be chasing shorts with diversions like that, and also in an area of very strong potential support on the weekly. So that to me is a major issue. So for me, I'd only really be looking at 33,856 to see if we break above that, find some support, because that's going to validate a fairly big level, or sorry, a fairly big range. I'll get it right now. Flag breakout, and my first target for that is going to be 34,277, which is that other weekly level that we need to pay attention to. So that's kind of my view at the moment. I don't expect this thing to plummet below 33,592 at the moment, not unless something drastic happens. So yeah, that's kind of my view. You see we've got crossovers, we're in amongst the moving averages, but if we get above here, that's going to cross over all these moving averages. Then I suspect we're probably going to target that gap first and then break higher. But that's kind of my view for today. Very cautious, but that is the setups that I can see at the moment. This gap needs to close, by the way. So we do need to come back, drop down, close this gap before clearing this zone for longs. But even if we do start moving down, I'm very reluctant in chasing shorts at the moment. Okay, anyway, that's kind of me for now. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.